once again with y'all on Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, be chill, be cool. I actually am in the process of either losing my voice or regaining it back. I really don't know which is which, but one of them is what's going on. So I I'm not sick or anything, but man, I just, yesterday morning, my voice is gone completely. Got back last night. Everything's good. Working on our roof later in the week. And basically, I'm just doing this real quick. It's going to be a strange day for me. I'm actually heading to town quite early. I got quite an extensive shopping list to end up closing up my windows, and I got to get some fascia board to finish that out, and just a couple other things. But so today I got a question from Paul, and we're going to get into that question just in a moment. First things first. The way I do my channel now is I only answer questions from listeners. And so basically the way that works is you email me at thesoftspokenshaman@gmail.com, which you can find in the pinned section. And from there on, I'll let you know how much, and I'll go ahead and answer it for you in a stream format. And I'll keep you anonymous unless you specifically say that you don't want to be anonymous. But other than that, I'll keep you anonymous. For those of you guys who are listening, who like the content, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening after the fact, make sure you hit that super chat and that super thanks button. As you know, I don't answer comments because some people just want more and more and more and more and more. So I don't even do that. I don't even go down that slippery slope, because the minute I answer somebody's unsolicited, unpaid question, then everybody expects me to do that for them. I just can't do it, because this is a business like everything else in life. So that's the way that is. Second thing, if you want access to probably the best information from this channel and the stuff that I cannot put on YouTube, this is for you then. And that's The Forbidden Laws of Success, Volume 1, by yours truly, the Honorable Soft-Spoken Shaman. Check out this book. It's like 260-something pages. Check it out. It's awesome. thesoftspokenshaman@gmail.com. I actually just recently ordered the rest of my own catalog, and so eventually I'll have those physical copies, which I can show you in stream format and interest you. And actually, there's a blue jay right over there. Really, really cool. Where is it? There it is. You probably can't see it. And there's a blue jay. So anyways, yeah, thesoftspokenshaman@gmail.com is the place to hit me up. If you want to check out the books, if you have a question you want to have answered, just remember, I'm a business. I have to be. That's the way the world works. So if you want your questions answered, you got to have some scratch. That's just the way it is. And if you don't, sorry, go complain to somebody else. Complain to your boss or something, Anyways, Paul's question, to paraphrase, was, he said, Soft-Spoken Shaman, I went and visited my parents and my family and my extended family for this Thanksgiving. And I realized there was this undertow of resentment between us. He said that he was there for, I think he said 7 or 8 days. And he said in the beginning, the behavior between everybody was fine. But as the week progressed, the old snarky behaviors and quips and kind of like nasty negative behavior and control dramas, as they're called, between the family members started. He said, how do I get over this? How am I able to see my family without going down that rabbit hole into the past of negativity, So he didn't go into too much detail other than that, but we'll claim we'll claim his family is like the average American family. Your mother is overbearing and interested in control and manipulation. And she's chill until she needs something, and she yells. And everybody submits, especially Dad. Dad is not necessarily weak, but your dad learned that in order to get your mom to stop yelling, he had to submit and say, yes, dear, okay, dear. Because whenever he said things like, dear, stop yelling at me, she would start yelling even more. So he learned to be more submissive, right, in terms of her outbursts. And so throughout the years, people have asked me the same question. And they say, no matter what, Whether their mom is 30 years old or 75 years old, it's the same manipulative behaviors where she has emotional outbursts, where she yells and screams. And because everybody else in the family is chill and knows how to use an indoor voice, they kowtow to her because she's loud. And the only way to get her to be quiet and stop yelling is to go, okay, 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 whatever you want to do, whatever. So I'm assuming that these outbursts you're talking about, that's how they started, is probably with mom. In the American family unit, any destabilization in the family unit usually starts with mom because mom's unsatisfied, dissatisfied. Mom didn't get something she wanted. Mom wants to complain, right? Typically that's where it comes because dad is going to be chill. Most dads, not all, but most dads are going to be chill. And most dads are not going to start a fracas during Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, Kwanzaa. They're not going to do that. They're usually pretty chill. Most dads, especially as they get older, man, they'll sit on a couch and play with the grandkids and watch paint dry. They'll watch Elmo and Bluey with the children. With the grandchildren, they don't care. It's not them that's starting the drama. It's mom, it's grandma, right? So how do you get this to stop? Number one, the thing that adult children do is they do what they did when they were younger, which is try and save the day and be like, Mom, stop complaining, stop yelling. No. The way you get it to stop is to do not engage. Don't disengage, just do not engage in the first place. When she starts yelling and screaming, walk out of the room. Do not even give her an audience. Do not engage at all. The minute you engage, the minute you go, hey, I wish you would stop yelling, or make a frowny face, then you're engaging with her and she wants that. So she can then engage with you and start yelling in your general direction. Do not engage at all when your mom starts yelling. Secondly, and I got to keep this short because I don't have too much time today. I'm losing my voice and I got to run out and buy some stuff. A lot of problems with parents, in youth don't have to extend to adulthood. It's amazing to me how many people don't know anything about their parents. They've never heard any stories from their parents. They don't know how their parents met. They don't know anything about, where their mom or dad went to school, what they studied, who their friends were, peak experiences from their parents' lives, things that, make your mom or your dad happy, reminiscences, things that make them sentimental. Some people don't even know where their parents grew up, My mom grew up in New York. My dad grew up in Maine. I know this. I know quite a bit about my mom and dad because I wanted to know. This brings me up to a subject I saw scrolling on TikTok. Now, I'm not recommending you buy this product. I'm not sponsored by them at all. But it's a person selling a notebook that says, hey, you are going to feel really bad if your parents die and you don't know anything about them. You're going to have regrets where you didn't really plumb the depths of your relationship with your mom and your dad. And so he was selling a notebook. He said, give this to your mom, give this to your dad, and have them fill it out. And that way, he said, you have a souvenir for when they're not here, where you can read about who they were, especially before you came on the scene when you were born. Really cool. That's one of the reasons why I like attending family gatherings for the holidays, is because typically when there's mom and dad and grandparents and in-laws, somebody will start a conversation, and apropos of that, it'll, even if, mom or dad's got dementia maybe, it will trip a memory of theirs and they'll go down memory lane. This past Thanksgiving, I learned from my dad that, my grandpa who fought in World War II, when he was not working in his small town and on the beach in Maine, he was actually making his own, booze. And it was so good that the local cops in Portland and Old Orchard Beach and Saco and Scarborough, Maine, they would come up to my grandpa's house and they would buy his moonshine from him. And they'd have their police radio on as loud as possible in their vehicle so they could, as they ran into the house to get some beer from my grandpa, they could actually hear if there was any call they had to respond to. Now, I'd never heard this story from my dad, and I'm really glad I did because it's a cool story. My mom grew up in Buffalo, New York, which anybody who watched the Bills 49ers game this past weekend knows Buffalo, because of lake effect snow, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, its proximity, is a snowy place. They get more snow than some parts of Alaska. So my mom would say that, with her friends, whenever the snow would thaw out, because in Buffalo it could snow from October to May sometimes. She said whenever the snow would thaw out, they would get in the car because they've been cooped up for so long, and they go to their favorite restaurants and hangouts in Erie, Pennsylvania, or over near Cleveland, Ohio, and get the food they wanted because they've been waiting so long because the winter, because you get 2-3 feet of snow dumped on you out there. These are the stories that help, so that in the future when you're an adult and maybe your mom or your dad, maybe your dad's complaining about something, maybe your mom starts yelling about something, you can remember that they're not mom and dad, they're human beings. You know stories about their life, you know their background, and it helps you to engage in a positive way no matter what, even if they're having a meltdown, even if they're having a crash out. It helps you see them as human beings. And as you mature and get older, you're able. Because believe me, when I was younger, I was not able. If my mom threw a fit, it pissed me off all day. It pissed me off all day. Because my mom used to be able to throw a fit. And then 2 minutes later, she'd totally forget she threw a fit. As she was in a totally new mood. But as I got older, when these escapades would happen, I was able to just chill out and just realize, it ain't nothing but a chicken wing, dude. It's gonna stop in a second, She's just complaining or yelling about something. It's whatever, That's mom. You just say it to yourself, that's mom, whatever, and you move on. And if you can't handle it being in the same room, you go into a different room, or you go outside, you take a walk. You don't have to make any, make any allowances. You don't have to say you're sorry. Just move into a different room or go outside. And that's the best way to make sure that you don't engage in negative tailspins when you're with your relatives for the holidays. Because if you're anything like me, Paul, you see your parents and your sister and your brother and your relatives maybe once or twice a year. And so what that means for me is, because I see my family once or twice a year, there's no time for negativity. Even if somebody has a meltdown or a crash out, I know that I would feel bad if I engaged in that, if I took them up on that negativity. That's why I just forget about it. I say, hey, let's go get, they drink coffee. Hey, let's go get a coffee. Let's go take my nephew out, or whatever. And that's the way to get around this stuff. You're not going to feel this way probably until you're at least 30 years old, dude. If you're in your 20s, you're still going to be engaging in these control dramas with mom and dad and your sister, jockeying for who's the favorite, For me, personally, because I've been able to do pretty well for myself. I used to be, when I was younger, I was the child prodigy. I was getting all the write-ups in the papers. This guy's going to be this, that, and the other. But now, for me, I'm much happier seeing my sister have a very successful business and have her family, and I can be in the background. You learn when you get older. You don't want to be in the foreground. You don't need that. If you're emotionally mature and you want to see good things happen for other people, you want to be in the background. That's why wealthy people are philanthropists from the background, in the cut. They don't need the accolades. I don't need the accolades. I don't need anybody clapping me on the back telling me, hey, Steve, you're great. I don't need to hear that. I want to see my people come up and do well, because I don't need to come up and do well. I don't need people clapping me on the back. And that's something that comes with some age. And again, guys, I apologize if you can't hear me that well. I'm losing my voice. I can't really do too much about it. Let me see here. We got a super chat from Unit 4774, Canadian. He says, thank you, needed this. Have a great day. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that too. And, it's a topic that people talk about a lot during the holiday season. And it's hard for all of us, man. The only reason I can come from this perspective is because in the past, I used to, I've taken on my mom's characteristics. My dad's very chill, very, very chill. But my mom, who is also chill, can be a powder keg at times. And she can be very emotional. I got that from her. My sister didn't get it from her. My sister got my dad's temperament, thank God. Thank God for that. But I got a little bit of my mom's temperament, so I can be a firecracker at times. And so, because I know, I've been on the planet for 39 years now, I know, my mom's temperament, and I know how it can manifest in me. I'm just able to disengage and be like, yeah, everything's good. This is like a storm cloud. It's going to leave, it's going to be gone in 5, 10 minutes, and we're going to forget about it. The problem that, my dad would have sometimes is he would allow maybe an outburst from my mom to affect him all day. And I would too, until I saw that my mom would have an outburst or she'd complain about something. And then 5, 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, she'd be fine. She totally forgot about it. And, some people would say that, with women in general, not all, but some of them are able to have these emotions where they're able to like move on from an emotion so quickly. Whereas a man, it's almost like a breakup. The long-standing wisdom is when a woman breaks up with a man, or even a man breaks up with a woman, she'd get over it real quick. Whereas the man, it hits him hard for a while. It seems, in my observations, seem to be the same thing with emotions. A woman can just leave an emotion and just go to a new one real quick without, like mourning that emotion. Whereas a man, he's in his feelings. So men are very much up in their feelings a lot more than women are, and that's not common wisdom. That's not something people talk about a lot. But men are up in their feelings, and we know this because it takes so long for a man to get over a breakup. It takes so long for a man to get over like a really strong emotion. They affect us much more, So I hope that answers your question, Paul. That's a doozy, but I would go into it more honestly if I had the voice to power through, brother. But I just, unfortunately, I don't, man. So I'm gonna have to end this right now. I'm gonna try to go drink some hot fluids and see how I'm doing later today, because I have I have a little backlog of live streams that I got to get to. So if any of you guys had paid for a question for a live stream, just bear with me. I'm gonna try to get to it as quickly as I can. It's just I want you to be able to listen to it and hear what I'm saying without struggling to hear me. So with that being said, make sure you hit that subscribe and notification button. You'll know when I'm going live, and you can check it out. Once again, I appreciate y'all who super chat on my streams. I do appreciate that much. And if you guys want to, if you have questions that you want answered, you feel free to look at that pinned comment. Hit me up at thesoftspokenshaman@gmail.com. I'll keep you anonymous, and I'll answer your question on live stream format because it benefits everybody. Or if you don't want to have it live stream, you just have a question, you can email me, and I can, give you my response either through like a Zoom call or Discord or email or whatever you want. So that being said, you guys have a good morning, and I'll talk to you guys later.